This is Lisa from Mobile Tech Review, and now we're looking at the LG Optimus Vu. This is LG's counter to the Samsung Galaxy Note. This is a 5-inch Android smartphone. As you can see, it's pretty big. Here it is in my hand. I have big hands. It's a bigger phone still. Very thin though, a little thinner than the Galaxy Note, and not bad looking. There's a nice textured back on it. There's your 8-megapixel camera. And we have capacitive buttons on the front here that light up when you touch them, hopefully. There we go. Now this is 1024 by 768 pixels. It's an IPS display. It's very bright. You know LG and their very bright high-nit display brightness. And it's 4:3 aspect ratio, which is pretty unusual in a smartphone. You see that in the iPad, but not so much elsewhere. Makes it good for TV content, also good for magazine reading. This is a 1.5 gigahertz dual-core Snapdragon S3 CPU with Adreno 220 graphics inside, so that's third generation you're looking at, not the latest Qualcomm Crate S4, but it still feels like a fast and responsive phone. Right now it is running Gingerbread, boo boo, how sad, but it will get an upgrade to Ice Cream Sandwich Android OS 4.0. The phone does support LTE. This is a Korean model, so it's not our LTE, folks, sorry. Will it come to a US carrier? We don't know yet. As you can see, it's pretty fast and responsive. It has a customized UI. We've got a white background here and some quick launch buttons. Friendly overall. Fonts are pretty humongous, I noticed, with things like settings. Samsung and LG seem to like to go with those really big fonts, but it is easy on the eyes. And now we're going to take a look at the pen input. This is a capacitive stylus that you can use with this. You can also use your finger, of course, on the screen. This is not a dual digitizer, not an active digitizer. Now we're going to take a look at the capacitive note-taking capabilities here. We've got a wonderful fellow from LG who's going to walk us through some of the features.
So if I wanted to, like, for example, if I'm looking at a magazine and I'm reading this outdoor photographer magazine and I'm like looking for some equipment, and I say, you know what, that's a really cool printer, I should check that out. I could probably use that in my office, and we're going to actually get rid of that because whoever used this didn't erase that. And basically I can grab my pen tool. There's a little button on the top here. This is our quick click button. Press that, and on any screen I'm able to write over that screen, whether it's a video running or a magazine like this. So I can go over here and grab like whatever pen color I want or the thickness, get out of that, say, you know what, this looks like something I'd be interested in, and then I go, let's say on, I back out of that real quick, go online, check out the price, checked out the price, hold down here, go back into that Zinio reader, which I didn't save that, unfortunately. I should have saved it first, but let's say essentially that's what I was doing, and I had this, I had saved this particular thing, and there it goes. I can go back in after I got the price and say, all right, that's going for $199. So now I have the ability to save this. Since I got that information there, I could either share that through email, messaging, social networking, or whatever. And then if I wanted to save it locally, I can hit the save option. I can go to notebook or gallery. If I want to erase it, I can erase it manually or all. And like I said, I have all those different options there as far as pen colors and pen sizes. I can save it to my notebook. We'll back out of that. This is our rubber DM pen. It's like a number 2 pencil size pen tool to use, navigate, and write with. Very comfortable in your hand. So I can open up my notebook now.
And that's capacitive, right?
It is, yes. So anything I save to the quick clip is going to be stored in here. And as you can see, there's my page there, and I'm able to flip through the pages and see what other notes I have saved. And I can come in here and write some more edits over top of that. So it's a really cool note-taking option.
And you can use your finger too, can't you?
Yep,
if you want
absolutely.
to.
What's also cool is that because we're using a unique 4:3 aspect ratio, it's very familiar and comfortable on the eyes when reading books or magazines, because that's what you're looking at on a traditional book or ebook reader or magazine. It's a 4:3 aspect ratio, and that's why we went with that particular unusual ratio on this handset. Not unusual for reading, but unusual for phones.
Right. Same resolution as the iPad.
Yeah. It's a high resolution display. It's an IPS display. It's 650 nits of brightness. So in direct sunlight, it's going to be a great option, and also conserve on battery life when compared to some of our competitors. So this is our notebook option right here. I can come in here and actually choose the color of my notebook, and then I can actually type a new note. Let's say I want to call this, like, for example, I don't know, let's say I'm making a recipe book. I can call that recipes. I can choose the paper style that I want. I can back down that. I can even choose the paper color, hit OK. And now I have a whole new notepad where I'm able to jot down notes. So, I mean, yes, there's a number of apps in the Android market that allow you to do functions, but not as intuitive as this. I think this is the best option for a lot of people. I know my wife would love to take advantage of a feature like this. She's a big note taker. She's a big researcher. She does her homework when she's looking for a purchase. She does a number of different lists for a number of different things. So for folks that are really that kind of organized personality in their personal life, this is going to be a huge benefit. For folks that are in business, tracking different things, it's also going to be a huge benefit.
Right. Now, can you throw images into there, or is the way you do it basically by capturing the screen and writing on top if you want to throw an image in there?
As you can see, pictures, and let's see, save. There's your image.
Excellent.
And I'm able to write around it.
Nice.
So I can use my keypad and actually type right here a note or whatever. Get out of that. I could even, let's say, personalize this. Maybe I'm writing a thank you letter. Maybe I'm writing I'm writing something to my wife. I can sign it, I love you, and put my signature on it. Or maybe I'm writing a letter of recommendation for somebody. I can do it right off of my phone, type it out, sign my signature to it, email it to that person, and then they can take it on their job interview. So there's so many different functions that you can take advantage of to use these particular applications.
And this works, say, if you're viewing a PDF, it works absolutely anywhere. Is that correct? So you could annotate a PDF, maybe even sign it and save it, that kind of thing?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
you can even do it over live video. So if you're on a train or you're on a bus and you see a billboard with an advertisement with a phone number on it, and you remember that phone number only for a couple of seconds before you forget it, you're able to click on that quick clip, write the phone number down, save it even while the video's running in the background. Now it won't save the video and the image, but it'll save it to a blank slate, so you have that phone number.
Right. Speaking of that, if you're in the phone dialer, for example, and somebody wants to give you, say, a phone number or some directions, you can write over that while you're in conversation, and then you can save it, but not save the dialer background, which would be distracting, so you could actually read the phone number or the notes or direction you've written.
So there's your, keep the background, get rid of the background.
Very useful also.
And then when you go to the gallery, as you can see, it actually does save it with that on it. So it took a snapshot of it. But you'll have that information saved. So like I said, great for somebody who wants to organize their entire life. Great for somebody who doesn't want to carry both a tablet and a mobile phone. It's one cohesive device, hybrid of both, to kind of incorporate both aspects of those particular functions. So whether it's a phone, whether it's a tablet, you got it all in one right here. It's a dual-core processor. You got an 8-megapixel camera on the back with a flash, as well as you can see the really nice textured back, giving you that notebook feel, which is kind of neat. It is a capacitive display. Like I said, it's got Gorilla Glass, so it's very strong. You got your front-facing camera. And again, to reiterate, LG's leadership in LTE technology. This is a 4G LTE handset in South Korea. There's been no plans of this particular handset jumping across the pond over here in the US. However, I'd love to see it happen, but stay tuned. And if we have more information to share on that, you'll be sure to find out, I'm sure.